Welcome to the Rochelle Christian Podcast. I'm Rochelle, your host. I'm here to help you come back to your body, take charge of your emotions, and live life on your terms. This podcast is a space for raw, real conversations about what it means to trust yourself, lean into your power, and create a life that feels aligned and alive. We'll explore human design, astrology, and other tools to help you understand your unique energy. More importantly, though, we're going to talk about what it means to actually live and embody these aspects. So each week, I'm going to share stories, lessons, guidance to help you navigate life's challenges and really own your magic. So if you're ready to step up, take control, and show up as the most authentic version of you, let's begin. Welcome back to another weekly transit update for the week of July 27th until August 2nd. Now, I didn't come out with a podcast episode last week. I mean, I did the weekly transit update last week, and then I was on vacation, and I just did not have time to record the regular podcast episode, but we're back, and Mercury is now direct, but we're still in those retrograde degrees of Mercury, so it's not necessarily a time to not do anything. Like during retrogrades, we say don't make really big decisions, but also trust your gut, because I did make a big decision during Mercury retrograde, and it's still to be seen what's going to happen with that. But it's really a time, kind of like a integration period, right? Mercury stationed direct, and then it went retrograde, and those retrograde degrees, it was really showing us what needed to be seen, right? Mercury in Cancer is really communicating with the body, with your intuition. It's really focused around home life, family life, childhood, inner child work, ancestral work, lineage work, mother work, all of these kinds of things. And so a lot of those themes around our conditioning in childhood, the 0 to 7 year age range, around what we've taken on to believe is our own and what we're letting go of. So now that we've kind of seen that, we're retrograding back. We retrograded back over it. Now we're direct. So we're kind of going back over those degrees. So it's okay, what did we see? And what are the actions moving forward to shift, if we needed to shift something about what we saw, or just do things differently, right? I think that Mercury retrograde can often be redirection rather than a breakdown or miscommunication or just putting a block in the road. If we look at that block in the road as just this is unsafe, let's take another route, could be really supportive, right? So whatever came up during Mercury retrograde, looking at it as a redirection, and not necessarily as something breaking down, as something not working, as something that's there to hinder us and hold us back. It's really the universe being hey, you maybe should go this way. You can push out the blockade and keep going that way, but maybe there's a reason that it's there. We need to look at the other reasons. So that's what's going on. So with all of the transits this week, there is the beginning of the week is really potent. Honestly, it's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are huge. And then we kind of have the rest of the week to integrate, to process, because any lunation, we really feel it a few days before and a few days after. And this full moon is kind of initiating eclipse season, which we'll get into a little bit, because our first eclipse on August 12th, usually eclipse season starts about 2 weeks before our first eclipse, and the total solar eclipse is happening August 12th. So that really is starting right around the full moon. We're going to start that eclipse season. So this full moon is packed and potent for so many different reasons. So we'll get into it. So Monday, the 27th, the sun is opposite Pluto. The sun is trine to Neptune, and the sun is sextile to Uranus. So we've been talking about this basket, this barbalt basket that's been going on with Jupiter. Jupiter's still in mix. Jupiter is going to be about 6 degrees of Leo on Wednesday, so it's probably about the same on Monday. Actually, I'm not for sure what degree it is, but it's between 5 and 6 degrees on Monday. And so it still is in this basket configuration, but now the sun is coming in there. And the sun and Pluto are sort of this foundation of that basket formation that we've been talking about. And it's all really supportive to move us in a new direction, to build upon. It's a foundation that we're rebuilding everything on. And it's really, really powerful. The sun is where we shine. The sun is what we're embodying. The sun is, the sun rules Leo. So the sun is its most potent in Leo as we navigate it. So again, creativity, fun, play, generosity, warmth, heart, but it can also be pride, pridefulness. It can also be ego, So we need to really, especially since the nodes have switched on the 26th, the day that this episode comes out, the nodes will have switched. And this Aquarius Leo axis is, I think it really encapsulates like all of what we're experiencing collectively. And so we're really moving towards that. But again, it's really embodying the whole, like how can I shine as my brightest and best version of self? How can I be self-expressed so that it helps those around me, so that it helps the collective? When you think about medical astrology, and I'm not a medical astrologist, I just love, it's fascinating. So Leo rules the heart. Leo rules the heart and the spine, and Aquarius rules the electrical impulses in the body, the nervous system, and circulation. So literally the heart, like Leo and Aquarius, are so linked together because the heart has the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. It can like span out feet from our own body. So when we think about coming from the heart, coming from Leo, coming from that place, like elevating our vibration and our consciousness so that our electromagnetic field through the heart space is massive. If you think it's like 10 feet around you, how many people can you fit in that and impact by your vibration? You see those tuning fork examples. When you tune forks together, they vibrate, right? Like, or you have, like, they'll hit the same pitch, or you have those little balls, right? And it's like when they're in the same vibration, they move together. And so when we're doing that collectively, when we're all working to elevate ourselves, I also just saw a really cool example on Instagram, actually. I'll see if I can find the link and like share it in the show notes. But this woman was talking about ghosts and speaking to ghosts and excuse me, hitting that frequency. So she was saying ghosts have a really high vibration. And so she had an example of one of those like massage guns, and she had the massage gun on and it was hitting her finger, and her finger was moving so fast and it was like in front of the camera. So, but it almost looked translucent, and you could see her through the finger the way that the camera was. And I was like, whoa, that's such a cool example of frequency, vibration, how it works, and us, right? In our consciousness and how we can elevate our consciousness in all different ways. So anyway, that's really kind of what's happening with the nodes. And then with the sun coming into this little basket formation and really activating that, it's really shining a light on it. Jupiter is expansion, luck, optimism, right? It's the guru planet. It's kind of like always seeking something else. And it's really beautiful aspect, which will be exact on Wednesday, on Wednesday with the full moon. But now we have the sun, who is shining so brightly in Leo, who is asking us to be our most authentic and expressed version of self so that we can impact those around us, so that we can, like, you think about like your spine too, right? Like having like a standing up straight, having like a really strong, straight spine. Even when you think about just like how people hold themselves, right, with confidence, or when you think about when you're sitting in meditation, we want that straight spine so that we're activating all of our chakras and we're running energy through it, right? The Kundalini energy that rises up from the root up through. It's like so much of this, like, how can we stand a little bit, I guess prouder is the word, but like we're still caring about other people because our energy is impacting those around us. So how can I be my most expressed in order to impact and support and help? Like, how can I give that to the people around me? How can I give that to my community? How can I use that to be of service around me? And so it is literally the self and it's the collective at its most, like, just in a really beautiful way. So all of that, again, that's happening on Monday. On Tuesday, the moon moves into Aquarius, just getting us ready for the full moon in Aquarius. So the full moon in Aquarius happens Wednesday, the 29th, the same day that we have Venus in Virgo square Mars in Gemini, the same day that we have the sun conjunct Jupiter in Leo. So this is a really beautiful, like, I actually really, really, really love this entire full moon. And if you join us inside third space on the 28th, on Tuesday the 28th, we are doing a full moon circle, which I'm going to get into so much detail around this full moon. But the full moon is happening in gate 41. This is the gate of fantasy. The nodes have switched into Aquarius and Leo axis. They are going to be at 29 degrees. And this full moon is happening at 6 degrees. So they're on opposite sides. But what's really cool about this little configuration is that the north node is at gate 30, which is the gate of clinging fire, which in human design creates a channel with gate 41. right? And so it connects the root and the solar plexus in human design. And then we have the South Node in Leo, which is in gate 29, which is the gate of commitment. It's saying yes to things that we truly want to say yes to, not just committing to something half-heartedly. That's the shadow in gate 29. And I have this in my unconscious earth. And so this is like a theme of my life, right? It's like saying yes to things that I actually genuinely want to so that I can see through it and not just like half-heartedly half-ass everything because I just want to like people please or I want to, or I just feel like saying yes. Because so many times I say yes because I genuinely like your happiness actually makes me happy. Like I get really excited when people are happy and excited. And so often I commit to things and then like halfway through I'm like, ugh, this is not actually what I want to do, right? Like it would actually be so much better for me committing to something that I want to see through that lights me up as well as the other person, because then I'm giving my fullness. I'm really committing in that fullness to it. And so the full moon is in gate 41, the gate of fantasy. The shadow here is fantasy, right? It's like getting lost in the expectation of the dream and the fantasy and the, we come up with all these elaborate things in our mind. And it's like the reality of the situation, not to say that you can't have those things, but the reality of the situation often with our conditioning and life and the mind takes, us away in all sorts of different directions. And then that activates. So it's an initiating codon. So it initiates the whole emotional human experience. That activates that gate 30, which is in the solar plexus, the gate of clinging fire. And that is like letting go. So a huge theme with this entire full moon is letting go of any and all expectations, surrendering, letting things flow, like having the vision. Because I do believe that we need to be a little delulu, right? In whether you're an entrepreneur or like if you have really big, if you're trying to manifest something, I think that there is an element where we have to be a little delusional. We have to like sit there day in and day out and be like, this is the vision, this is the goal. And like funneling that into our imagination, into vision boarding, into just like seeing it, right? See to believe kind of thing. Like we have to like be a little bit delusional there. And I think Aquarius in itself, Aquarius is the oddball. Aquarius is the weirdo. Aquarius does things so differently. And the reason that Aquarius, like I love Aquarius as an air sign, because like if Aquarius was a water sign, imagine like, no shade against water signs because I'm so like, I feel it. But like, this is also that axis between Leo and Aquarius too. Like Leo, there is a need or a craving for external validation with Leo that we do need to leave behind with this nodal axis. And it's like kind of like standing on our own and being assured. And again, going back to Aquarius, to do what Aquarius does, to kind of like break the system, break the mold, do things out of the box, do things a little bit differently, being like ahead of the curve or ahead of the game, where it's like we're doing things early and other people will look to us and be like, wow, you're so weird. Like, what are you doing? Everybody's got an opinion, right? And it's like, instead of being the sheep, in order to stand out, it takes a lot of guts, I guess. It takes a lot of like being so sure of yourself. And I think that is something that the energy right now is really, really, really calling us to do. Neptune in this mix, Neptune in the whole mix, right? It's like, pay attention to our dreams. What are our dreams telling us, right? We're like funneling all of this through that. Uranus is awakening us to truths. We're seeing things that we didn't see before. Pluto is asking us, again, things are crumbling. How are we rebuilding? Pluto is really slow. It's going to be here for about 20 years. So it's really asking us, it's like a slow breakdown and a slow rebuilding. Things are coming to the surface that need to be changed, that need to be worked on. That's that power to the people type energy, power, control, death, transformation, rebirth. Like it's so much. And then again, like the sun and Jupiter down here, it's really luck. It's expansion. It's abundance. Like I've seen a lot of people online that are like, things are just rolling for them. They're moving, right? It's like really using that energy. But I think that a huge theme is really to be rooted in yourself. And whatever decision you make, even if it's not the right one, to be so sure in it. I actually want to read you a quote. I actually have this, the Bhagavad Gita, right next to me. And I was just reading a little letter here and someone reminded me there's one phrase in the Bhagavad Gita and I'm not a fan of the wording of this specific one. Actually, no, I do kind of like the wording of this one. Okay, so think Aquarius Leo. Think Aquarius full moon, where we're being asked, what is the thing about us that we've like suppressed or that people have been like, oh, you're so weird. I get that all the time. You're so weird. Okay. It used to make me like, no, I don't want to be weird. I don't want to be the weirdo. I want to fit in. I want to be normal. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, no, I have Aquarius in my 7th house and everybody's got Aquarius somewhere, right? I have Aquarius in my 7th house. Like my relationships are never really going to look normal. My business partnerships are never going to look normal, right? I'm a Leo rising. So I'm like big, bold and all that kind of stuff. So So it says, this is chapter 18, verse 47. It says, better to do one's own duty imperfectly than to do another man's well. Doing action intrinsic to his being, a man avoids guilt. Arjuna, a man should not relinquish action he is born to, even if it is flawed. All undertakings are marred by a flaw. A fire is obscured by smoke. And it goes on. Basically, it's like, do your purpose, do your dharma, even if you're doing it imperfectly, even if you're failing, right? Like failing, we're learning when we fail. So it's better to do your path, your truth. If you've committed to something and you're wrong and you failed in it, better to do that imperfectly and learn and adjust and adapt than to just follow the flow of what everybody else is doing. And it's like Pink Floyd The Wall, right? You're just like, you're blurring into the background of whatever, right? It's better to do your dharma imperfectly than to do another man's dharma well, because it's not yours, right? And I think that we all look to each other, and this is a huge theme that's coming up with this nodal axis, is like, stop the comparison. Stop the comparison, put down the phone, stop comparing yourself to other people. Like, we need to be so much more assured of ourselves and be decisive. Again, even if the decision you're making turns out to be wrong, you're learning lessons, right? Like you're on your path, you're learning lessons. So that's a huge theme of this moon, right? Like saying yes when it actually really feels good to say yes, having that fantasy, a little bit of delusion, but also like letting it drive you, letting it be the motivator for you, but not letting it rule, right? Because either way you look at it is like non-attachment. We talked about this. Oh, we talk about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. Like non-attachment to the outcome allows you to be in flow and allows you to adapt and allows you to be curious and allows you to see things a little bit differently. So that's a really huge theme here. We also have Venus and Virgo, which again, like, think Venus is our values. Virgo is our mind. It's analytical. It's our day-to-day. It's our habits and our routines that are supporting us. So it's like, what do you value? And how is your daily life supporting that? How is that moving you towards it? So if we're being a little bit delusional, if we have this big fantasy or this like dream or this goal that we're moving towards, what is our day-to-day? Like if we're not doing anything that will move us towards that, then we're just straight up being delusional. Then it really is just a fantasy. But if we have something that's motivating us, if we're implementing, if we're doing like emotional regulation every day, if you're doing your meditations, like whether it's yoga nidra, whether it's breath work, whether it's yoga, like whatever, are you doing the things that will move you towards that and embody that version of self? Because then like, if you're just sitting on the couch eating chips and Oreos and watching TV, but you want to have a six pack, I mean, it's probably not going to get you there. Then it's just a fantasy. But if you're making the steps to getting up early and just going for a walk outside, right? Like you're taking the steps. So that's Venus and Virgo. We talked about that last week. And then Mars in Gemini. This is fast. This is quick. This is maybe a little bit aggressive or just like speaking without thinking kind of energy. And these squares, anytime we have a square between Venus and Mars, this is masculine and feminine in like a little bit challenging aspect. This could be sexual tension. This could be tension in a relationship because this is all like relationship can be money too, right? Like what's motivating us? What are our values bringing in finances? So this could be a little bit more challenging, but I think that we have a lot that's really optimistic this day, especially with this Sun-Jupiter conjunction that's happening on the day of the full moon. And again, like full moons illuminate. So we're seeing everything clearly, right? We're seeing what needs to be seen. It's coming to the surface. This is why people get a little bit interesting around full moons because everything that you're normally trying to hide is coming out. You can't hide it. It's there. It's showing itself. It's showing its face. And we're also releasing things. We're shedding during the full moon because we can see it. And then we're creating space for then in the new moon for us to plant those seeds. So it's like, what's the seed that you planted back in the new moon? Now that we're progressed, what's helping, what's supporting you? Where do you need to shift that vision? What's coming to the light that maybe we need to adjust, we need to release, we need to let go? And then what are we going to create space for? So that during our new moon, and again, our next new moon and full moon are eclipses. We're in eclipse season. So this is the last full moon to really kind of like do this work versus like eclipses can be a little bit more chaotic. So that's all happening on the 29th. Again, I'm going to get deeper into it in third space. So if you want to join us, just click the link below. On Friday the 31st, the moon moves into Pisces, so we're just a little bit more intuitive, we're a little more psychic, like pay attention to your dreams. My dreams have been really interesting lately. Been writing them all down. And then on Sunday, the moon moves into Aries. So it's going to be conjunct. Moon moves really fast, right? So it's going to be activating this little basket, which it probably is like every other day with how, quickly the moon moves. But yeah, that's it. That's next week. So it's packing a punch. It's really exciting though. I am really excited for this week. Because the thing with like July is like, we've been talking about it for a while. It is huge. It's massive. It's also the outer planets. It is all supportive. Like, of course there are challenges within that, but it is like technically all supportive. I will say the full moon, I'm trying to remember. There was something with Chiron and I don't remember right now what it is. I think it's Juno. No, Pluto's square Chiron. I was like, I knew there was something with Chiron. So within all of that we talked about, just adding that little flair of like our wounds are coming up. They might be coming up slowly, but they are coming up for us to face. Wounds around food, money, relationships, all those types of things. So yeah, join us in Third Space. It's a really beautiful place. Like I keep saying too, especially with the node switching in Aquarius Leo, it's so important for us to be authentic, to be expressed. And if you're in the right room with the right people, you're more likely to consistently be able to show that instead of trying to like prove yourself, which are all things that we need to leave behind. But like Ram Dass said, like if you think you're healed, go spend a weekend with your family. It's really hard to change your internal narrative, the stories that you attach to yourself when you're in that loop every single day. So this is a community of space for the woman who knows that there's something different out there, that knows that things are changing and you're working to find your path. Like we are here to support each other and here to grow together and build. And so I invite you into Third Space. Again, we're having our full moon call the 28th, and the next month we have a Money by Design call. We have our full moon call will be next month as well. And then there is also a frequency workshop, which I'm actually not sure if it's next month or September, but either way, and yeah, it's just so much goodness in there. So thank you so much for listening. This is the astrology for the week of July 27th until August 2nd.